Have you ever noticed how the years slip by, and with them, certain habits creep into our lives without us even realizing it? As we age, it's easy to fall into patterns that might unintentionally push away the people we care about most. In this video, we're diving into 13 common habits that can quietly damage your relationships. Habits you might not even know you have. From constant complaining to giving unsolicited advice, these behaviors can create distance, even with those who love you deeply. Stick around until the end because understanding these habits isn't just about recognizing them in yourself. It's about learning simple, powerful ways to nurture stronger, closer connections with the people who matter most, making your presence a gift, not a burden. Before we begin, I would appreciate it if you like this video. You can help me continue to spread the old age lesson. If you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. If you like this video, please comment number 1. If you don't like it, comment number 0 to let me know, so I can make a better video for you. Now let's get started. Habit number 1. Constant complaining. Life's difficulties tend to accumulate with age. Creaky joints, rising costs, and a world that feels increasingly chaotic can weigh heavily. It's natural to want to express frustration, and occasional venting can be cathartic. However, when complaining becomes the cornerstone of every conversation, it risks alienating those around you. Imagine catching up with a friend, Helen, who spends every call lamenting her noisy neighbors, the dreary weather, or the state of politics. Over time, her negativity becomes exhausting, and you might find yourself hesitating to pick up the phone. Constant complaining creates a cloud of pessimism that can drain the energy from any interaction, leaving little room for joy or connection. To break this cycle, try balancing your conversations with positivity. Share a small moment that brought you happiness, a beautiful sunset, a kind gesture from a stranger, or a funny memory. This doesn't mean ignoring life's challenges, but rather choosing to highlight moments of light alongside them. By consciously weaving positivity into your interactions, you create an atmosphere that invites others to engage more deeply, fostering mutual enjoyment rather than dread. For example, instead of starting a conversation with a complaint about the weather, you might say, "The rain was heavy today, but it reminded me of those cozy afternoons we used to spend reading together. Have you read anything good lately?" This small shift can transform the tone of your conversations and keep others eager to connect. Habit number 2. Talking only about illnesses. As we age, health concerns, whether it's arthritis, high blood pressure, or a nagging backache, often become a significant part of life. Discussing these issues occasionally is perfectly normal. After all, health affects our daily experience, and sharing can foster understanding. However, when every conversation revolves around ailments, medications, or doctor's appointments, it can turn interactions into something resembling a medical consultation rather than a meaningful exchange. Loved ones care about your well-being, but they also want to connect with you. Your thoughts, your humor, your passions, not just your symptoms. Consider the story of Margaret, whose granddaughter, Lily, used to love visiting her. Over time, Margaret's conversations became dominated by detailed updates about her medications and doctor visits. Gradually, Lily's visits dwindled to holidays only, not because she loved her grandmother less, but because the interactions felt heavy and one-sided. To avoid this, strive to diversify your conversations. Ask about your family's lives, what book they're reading, what they think of a recent movie, or what's making them laugh. By showing interest in their world, you demonstrate that you're more than your health challenges. If health comes up, keep it brief and pivot to something else. "My knee's been acting up, but I'm managing. By the way, how's that new job of yours going?" This approach keeps conversations dynamic and engaging, preserving the richness of your relationships. Habit number 3. Being too opinionated. With decades of life experience, spanning wars, economic shifts, personal triumphs, and heartbreaks, your perspective is invaluable. You've earned the right to have strong opinions. However, when those opinions are delivered as unyielding truths, conversations can feel like battlegrounds rather than exchanges of ideas. Insisting that your way is the only way can exhaust others and stifle open dialogue. For instance, Harold, a 74-year-old retiree, prided himself on his wisdom but didn't realize that his constant critiques of his daughter's parenting, offered as helpful advice, felt like judgment to her. Over time, she began distancing herself, leaving Harold confused and hurt. To foster healthier interactions, practice humility and openness. You don't have to abandon your beliefs, but try acknowledging others' perspectives with phrases like, "That's an interesting way to look at it," or "I hadn't thought of it that way." This doesn't mean agreeing with everyone, but rather showing respect for differing viewpoints. Listening actively and asking questions can turn potential arguments into opportunities for connection. For example, if you disagree with a family member's decision, you might say, "I see why you made that choice. What led you to it?" This approach builds bridges, keeping relationships intact and encouraging mutual respect. If you are still watching this video and finding these lessons useful, please comment number 1 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Thank you for your valuable time. Habit number 4. Neglecting personal hygiene. Discussing personal hygiene can feel uncomfortable, but it's a critical aspect of maintaining dignity and connection as we age. With age, physical limitations, fatigue, or even depression can make it harder to keep up with grooming routines. Yet, neglecting hygiene, whether it's unwashed clothes, unbrushed hair, or an untidy living space, sends a message, intentional or not, that you've stopped caring about yourself. This can make it difficult for others to feel comfortable visiting. A caregiver once shared the heartbreak of watching her father, once a meticulous dresser, stop brushing his teeth and wearing clean clothes. While she loved him deeply, the decline in his hygiene made it challenging to spend time together, as it created a barrier to physical and emotional closeness. Maintaining hygiene isn't just about cleanliness. It's a signal to yourself and others that you value your presence in the world. Simple acts like showering regularly, wearing fresh clothes, or combing your hair can make a significant difference. If mobility or energy is an issue, consider asking for help. Perhaps a family member can assist with laundry, or a caregiver can support with daily routines. These small efforts reinforce your self-respect and make interactions more pleasant for everyone, ensuring that visits remain a source of joy rather than discomfort. Habit number 5. Living in the past. Nostalgia is a powerful and beautiful part of aging. Sharing stories of your youth, how you met your spouse, the adventures of the 1970s, or the way your hometown used to be, can captivate and connect generations. However, if every conversation is anchored in the past, it can leave little space for the present, making others feel disconnected from your current life. Your children might want to share news about their careers, and your grandchildren might be eager to show you a new song or a funny video. If you're always reminiscing, you might miss these opportunities to engage with their world. To stay connected, balance storytelling with curiosity about the present. Ask questions about what's happening now. What's the best thing going on in your life right now? Or, what's that app you're always using? This shows that you're interested in their lives and keeps conversations vibrant. For example, instead of recounting a decades-old memory, you might say, "I was thinking about the old days, but I'm curious, what's the music you're into these days?" By staying engaged with the present, you create a richer dialogue that strengthens your relationships across generations. Habit number 7. Gossiping or meddling. It's easy to fall into the trap of criticizing younger generations, their fashion, their slang, their obsession with technology. Every generation feels misunderstood by the one before it. Your parents likely disapproved of your music or style in your youth. Constantly pointing out what's wrong with younger people, however, can alienate them, making them feel judged rather than valued. When a grandparent repeatedly tells their teenage grandson that his phone use is ruining his brain, he's less likely to open up about his interests or seek their advice. Instead of focusing on differences, highlight the strengths you see in younger generations. Compliment your granddaughter's resilience or your grandson's creativity, even if their world feels foreign to you. For instance, you might say, "I don't get all the social media, but I'm impressed by how you use it to share your art." This approach builds trust and encourages younger people to stay connected, fostering mutual respect rather than division. By celebrating their strengths, you create a positive environment where they feel seen and valued. If you are still watching this video and finding these lessons useful, please comment number 2 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Thank you for your valuable time. Habit number 8. Refusing to adapt or learn. In an era defined by rapid technological advancements, the refusal to adapt or learn new skills can significantly hinder personal growth and connection. The modern world is saturated with innovations, smartphones, online banking, QR codes, and countless apps that can initially seem daunting, especially for older generations. However, dismissing these tools outright is akin to closing a door to opportunities that enhance both independence and relationships. Embracing learning, even at a basic level, not only keeps the brain sharp but also fosters meaningful connections with others. Consider the cognitive benefits. Studies, such as those from the National Institute on Aging, show that learning new skills, like navigating a tablet or using social media, stimulates neural pathways, potentially delaying cognitive decline. Beyond the science, the emotional rewards are profound. Picture an 85-year-old grandmother who, after taking a community center's basic computer class, learns to video call her grandchildren across the globe. Suddenly, she's not just hearing their voices but seeing their smiles, sharing in their daily lives in real time. One real-life example is Margaret, an 82-year-old from Ohio, who enrolled in a library workshop to learn email and Zoom. Initially hesitant, she now plays virtual chess with her nephew in California, exchanging playful banter during their games. "It's like I'm young again," she said, her eyes sparkling with pride. This isn't just about technology. It's about staying relevant, engaged, and connected in a world that's constantly moving forward. The alternative, refusing to try, can lead to isolation. The world won't slow down to accommodate reluctance, but small steps, like learning to send a text or scan a QR code for a restaurant menu, can keep you walking alongside it. Community centers, libraries, and even younger family members are often eager to teach. The key is an open mind and a willingness to stumble through the learning curve. It's not about mastering every gadget, but about staying curious enough to try. Habit number 9. Playing the victim. Loneliness is a pervasive issue, particularly as we age, but adopting a victim mindset, blaming others for feelings of disconnection, only deepens the divide. Thoughts like, "My children never visit," "Nobody calls me," or "People don't care anymore" are understandable, especially during moments of grief or isolation. However, these thoughts can become a self-fulfilling prophecy, closing off the heart to potential connections. The truth is, relationships are a two-way street, and waiting for others to bridge the gap can leave you stuck in a cycle of resentment and sadness. Breaking this habit requires a shift in perspective and action. Instead of waiting for others to reach out, take the initiative, even in small ways. Call a friend just to chat, send a handwritten note to a family member, or invite a neighbor over for tea. These actions, though simple, demonstrate agency and openness. For example, John, a 78-year-old widower, felt abandoned when his adult children's visits dwindled. Instead of dwelling on their absence, he started texting them weekly with light-hearted updates or funny observations about his day. Over time, his children began responding more, and their conversations grew warmer. By taking the first step, John transformed his loneliness into moments of connection. The psychology behind this is clear. Proactive behaviors foster a sense of control and self-worth, which are antidotes to victimhood. According to research from the American Psychological Association, initiating social interactions, even small ones, can significantly reduce feelings of loneliness. It's not about denying the pain, but about choosing to act despite it. This choice reflects strength, not weakness, and it opens the door to rebuilding relationships that might otherwise fade. Habit number 10. Being financially controlling. Money is a sensitive topic in families, and the desire to support loved ones financially often comes from a place of love. However, when financial support is accompanied by conditions or expectations, "I gave you this, so you owe me that," it can strain relationships and foster resentment rather than gratitude. This habit of financial control can manifest subtly, like reminding adult children of past monetary gifts, or overtly, like using money to influence decisions. The result is often the same. Relationships become transactional, and emotional bonds weaken. Consider the story of Robert, a 75-year-old retiree who frequently helped his adult children with expenses, from down payments to school fees. Initially, his generosity was appreciated, but over time, he began referencing these gifts in arguments, implying his children owed him time or compliance. The dynamic shifted. His children visited less, not out of ingratitude but because they felt burdened by guilt and pressure. Eventually, Robert realized that his need for control was pushing his family away. When he began giving without strings, small gifts like books for his grandchildren or contributions to family vacations without expecting reciprocation, the warmth returned to their interactions. The lesson here is about intention. Giving with a full heart, without expecting anything in return, builds trust and love. If giving feels like an investment in control, it's worth reevaluating. Financial discussions should be transparent and respectful, ensuring that generosity strengthens relationships rather than complicates them. As the saying goes, love tied to money gets messy. True generosity is an act of freedom, for both the giver and the receiver. If you are still watching this video and finding these lessons useful, please comment number 3 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Thank you for your valuable time. Habit number 11. Refusing help. It's hard to accept help. Money is a sensitive topic in families, and the desire to support loved ones financially often comes from a place of love. However, when financial support is accompanied by conditions or expectations, "I gave you this, so you owe me that," it can strain relationships and foster resentment rather than gratitude. This habit of financial control can manifest subtly, like reminding adult children of past monetary gifts, or overtly, like using money to influence decisions. The result is often the same. Relationships become transactional, and emotional bonds weaken. Consider the story of Robert, a 75-year-old retiree who frequently helped his adult children with expenses, from down payments to school fees. Initially, his generosity was appreciated, but over time, he began referencing these gifts in arguments, implying his children owed him time or compliance. The dynamic shifted. His children visited less, not out of ingratitude but because they felt burdened by guilt and pressure. Eventually, Robert realized that his need for control was pushing his family away. When he began giving without strings, small gifts like books for his grandchildren or contributions to family vacations without expecting reciprocation, the warmth returned to their interactions. The lesson here is about intention. Giving with a full heart, without expecting anything in return, builds trust and love. If giving feels like an investment in control, it's worth reevaluating. Financial discussions should be transparent and respectful, ensuring that generosity strengthens relationships rather than complicates them. As the saying goes, love tied to money gets messy. True generosity is an act of freedom, for both the giver and the receiver. Habit number 11. Refusing help. Accepting help can be one of the hardest hurdles to overcome, especially for those who equate independence with self-worth. As we age, tasks like carrying groceries, driving at night, or managing household chores may become challenging, yet pride can make it tempting to refuse assistance. However, rejecting help doesn't just limit practical support, it shuts down opportunities for connection. Allowing others to help isn't a sign of weakness. It's an invitation to deepen relationships. When a granddaughter offers to carry groceries or a neighbor suggests driving you to a doctor's appointment, saying yes does more than lighten your load. It gives others the chance to feel valued and needed, fostering mutual care. For instance, Sarah, a 79-year-old with arthritis, used to insist on doing everything herself, from gardening to shopping. When she finally let her teenage grandson help with yard work, their time together became a cherished ritual, filled with stories and laughter. Sarah realized that accepting help didn't diminish her independence. It enriched her life with shared moments. Research from the Journal of Social Psychology suggests that accepting help can strengthen social bonds and increase feelings of gratitude on both sides. People naturally want to care for those they love, and refusing their efforts can inadvertently push them away. The key is to reframe help as a partnership, not a loss. By saying yes to assistance, you're not just easing your burden, you're building bridges that make everyone feel closer. Habit number 12. Losing a sense of humor. Life's challenges, illness, loss, physical limitations, can weigh heavily, but losing the ability to laugh exacerbates the burden. A sense of humor is a powerful tool for resilience and connection, acting like a magnet that draws people in. When you can chuckle at a silly joke, find absurdity in daily frustrations, or share a light-hearted moment, you remind yourself and others that joy is still possible. A joyful spirit doesn't erase hardship, but it makes it more bearable and invites others to share in your warmth. Take Eleanor, an 87-year-old known in her retirement community for her quick wit. Despite battling chronic pain, she'd quip, "I may be wrinkled, but I'm still spicy." Her humor made her a favorite among residents and staff, who gravitated toward her infectious energy. Her ability to laugh didn't deny her struggles. It highlighted her strength and made others feel alive in her presence. Studies, like those published in the journal Psychology and Aging, show that humor can reduce stress and improve mood, even in the face of adversity. Cultivating humor doesn't require stand-up comedy skills. It's about noticing the small absurdities of life, like a quirky news story or a grandchild's silly antics, and sharing that perspective. Watch a funny movie, tell a light-hearted story, or simply smile when things go awry. This habit keeps your heart young and ensures that people want to be around you, not out of obligation, but because you make them feel good. If you are still watching this video and finding these lessons useful, please comment number 4 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Thank you for your valuable time. Habit number 13. Giving unsolicited advice. The urge to share wisdom is natural, especially when it stems from a desire to help loved ones navigate life's challenges. However, constantly offering unsolicited advice can feel like criticism or control, even if that's not the intention. Younger generations, children, grandchildren, or friends, often crave understanding over solutions. When advice is given without being asked, it can make them feel unheard or inadequate, eroding trust in the relationship. Imagine a daughter confiding in her parent about a parenting struggle, only to receive a list of shoulds in response. Instead of feeling supported, she might feel judged, less likely to share in the future. A better approach is to listen actively and offer empathy. Saying, "That sounds rough, I'm proud of how you're handling it," validates her experience and builds trust. If advice is needed, she'll ask, and when she does, it'll mean more because it's invited. For example, Mary, a 70-year-old grandmother, used to pepper her daughter with tips on raising her kids, from discipline to diet. Over time, her daughter grew distant, feeling criticized. When Mary shifted to listening and asking questions like, "How can I support you?" their conversations deepened, and her daughter began seeking her advice naturally. The shift wasn't about withholding wisdom but about prioritizing connection. The psychology is straightforward. People value autonomy and want to feel heard. According to communication studies, empathetic listening fosters stronger relationships than directive advice giving. By resisting the urge to fix and focusing on being present, you create a space where others feel safe to open up, strengthening bonds in ways that unsolicited advice never can. And there you have it. 13 habits that can quietly impact your relationships as you age, but also the power to change them with small, meaningful steps. Growing older is a privilege, and with a little grace, kindness, and curiosity, you can keep those connections strong and vibrant. So, what have you learned from this video? Which one of these habits hit home for you, and what's one thing you're going to bring into practice in your life? Drop it in the comments below. We'd love to hear your thoughts and start this conversation. If you like this video, please leave your comment below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more insights to help you live your best life. Stay kind, stay humble, and stay golden.